Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Great pleasure to be here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's my first visit to Hull, hopefully not the last. And so my colleague and me, we were in Goole to visit Siemens Mobility, which is quite an impressive investment. And I also wanted to see the port, to visit the port, and especially interested in the trade with Germany, which I understand continues to be really of also fundamental importance. You are discussing here leveling up, which is, I think, a very, very important topic. And whenever I have the possibility here to visit some of the mayors of the combined authorities, others, this topic comes up frequently. And there is this comparison which is sometimes done between the British system and the system with the federal states we have in Germany. And there are some, I would say, key differences in the sense, if you allow me very briefly to touch upon that, because I think it is for the balance of the regional development of high importance. So what we are doing is not going into the direction of leveling up funding. What we are doing is that we have a system where the tax income is distributed according to percentages which are negotiated. And that means for the municipalities and for the federal states that they have a basis to calculate with. So they know that they have a certain percentage of the tax income and they can work with that on a longer term basis. And I think for the decision making, this is a big topic and important topic. And we have a rule in our constitution which says that we try to achieve more or less same level of development within our country. And that means that the richest states in Germany have to give part of their tax income to the poorest. So the idea is somehow to balance the standard of living within the country. And we have a second chamber in the German political system, which means that every law which affects federal states and municipalities has to be approved by the second chamber. So no law which affects anything that has to do with the competences of municipalities, with the competences of federal states can be approved without their consent. So these, I think, are three very fundamental elements which help, I would say, to have a balanced development within the country. And there is a joke in Germany, which maybe as ambassador I should not repeat, but I think Germany is the only country in the European Union which would be richer without the capital. So Berlin is not the richest city in Germany. Berlin is even one of the poorest in Germany because it doesn't have a lot of industry. So leveling up is, as I said, a big topic. Also in the comparisons, or when I met with Andy Street and with Andy Burnham, this topic comes up frequently. And then obviously the question, what can we do to increase our business connections? And this is a very important part of our work at the embassy. And that's also why I try to get out of London as often as possible. I mean, British politics and Westminster keeps us busy. But nevertheless, I try to travel as much as possible. So going frequently to Northern Ireland, to Scotland, to Wales, but also to other parts of England. And that's why I'm happy to be here today in Hull. Overall, we have around 2,500 German companies in the United Kingdom. The number has dropped slightly after Brexit, and it's mainly, so we see the main effect, I would say, on the small and medium companies, especially the small companies. And because they are struggling with the additional paperwork, with the additional costs, which are part of the post-Brexit situation we are challenging. which is challenging for all of us. And we have seen an overall reduction of our trade at around 10–15%. But it has stabilized now. And if we look at the statistics, the United Kingdom is the third investor in Germany. So we have seen many companies, and I think we just talked about that you opened a subsidiary in Germany in order to be in the European Union, in the single market. And many have done that because they have seen that the obstacles are so big that it is important to open subsidiaries. On the other, coming here, I have the feeling, looking at the United Kingdom, especially the automotive sector is driving the trade relationship, but also life sciences and other areas. Aerospace is also a very important part. But looking here to Hull, I think energy transformation is and should be a key topic for the future. So we had our Vice Chancellor here, Robert Habeck, who is in charge of business, climate and energy. And we have signed an energy partnership with the British government. So what we want to do is, and I think it's also a result of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine, that people look differently at the topic of energy security. It means we have to cooperate in Europe on energy and on energy transformation. And we see a huge potential. And I think that means also a huge potential for Hull. Because if I look at the offshore development in the United Kingdom, it's very impressive. And there is a vast possibility to expand that further. And I can assure you that there is a lot of interest, not only in Germany, but in the rest of the European Union, to expand the cooperation around energy transformation. We are very interested in import of green hydrogen. Why? Because if we want to achieve in Germany net zero till 2050 or 2045, we need to import large amounts of hydrogen. It will not all be green, it will also be blue and others, but we need to build up a connection between the United Kingdom and Germany on hydrogen. So we have offered, and part of it, or what we have signed, is that we will work on developing this possibility. What we would like to see is a feasibility study for a pipeline from the United Kingdom to Germany. If I look here to Cuxhaven, which is, I think, one of the key destinations for the Port of Hull, I see really a potential for the export of hydrogen from the United Kingdom to Germany. And what we need is to develop things further so that industry can also have the guarantee that the necessary decisions, political decisions, will be taken. We need stability, we need predictability in order to develop that market. And that's, I think, one important example, but only one among many others. The biggest German investment we have seen in the last years is so-called Neu-Connect. That's a grid connection which will go from Kent to Germany directly. It's a 2.4 billion investment. It's part, in our view, it's part of an energy cooperation we would like to build up in the north of Europe and Central Europe, which will be, it can be CCS, carbon capture and storage, it can be the cooperation on offshore wind, it can be the cooperation on hydrogen, but it can also be the cooperation if we look at many other aspects of energy transformation. So if we want to build, I think, jobs for the future, this is definitely a growth area where we in Germany will definitely invest into, and it offers really great possibilities. So we hope that in the coming years we can really take advantage of these opportunities and develop the relationship further. We have, I think, post-Brexit, in the last 1.5 years, achieved a lot to develop a more pragmatic relationship again. We have the so-called Windsor framework, which has at least solved the issue on Northern Ireland. It's now really at a technical level where it should have been from the beginning. We have the United Kingdom back in the most important research and development cooperation, which is Horizon Europe. There is one area where we still would like to make more progress, and this is the people-to-people exchange. So we need more mobility. We would like to see the possibility for students, for skilled labor, for school exchanges, for youth exchanges to go in both directions again in the way we had it in the past, because we have seen a reduction here on youth and school exchanges, 75% less, students 60% less, and we are losing out on many connections which were really important in the past. So let me finish by saying that I think we have a huge potential for our future cooperation. The German government, Germany, is very interested in continue to develop the links and the cooperation with the United Kingdom. We have excellent cooperation on foreign policy, on defense policy. Why not expanding that further to other areas? So, and I think this region and having the importance of the port here, having investments in not only the rail infrastructure, but having here Siemens Gamesa as a main investor here in the port, I think there is quite some potential to enhance this cooperation. So thank you very much for inviting me.